last story before we get into our big segment of the show. Um, a very familiar face who I am a big fan of, one of his family members, Jim Harbaugh, has been rumored to potentially towing the line of coming back into NFL coaching. I think he's beaten Ohio State. He made it to the college football playoff. Didn't fare so well there, but he did all that he set out to accomplish nonetheless. And I think he's wants to move back into the NFL.
I think he's tempted, right? Because he went from Stanford, which he had a lot of success with Andrew Luck, and went to the 49ers. He went for 3 years. He went NFC Championship game, Super Bowl, NFC Championship game. Then he went 8-8 and was fired.
Which is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Which is it's stupid. And you've seen the 49ers had about 3 or 4 years of being terrible. And then Shanahan's brought a little bit back, but even then they're inconsistent. He was such a success in the NFL, and he did it without an elite quarterback. I mean, part of that success was with Alex Smith, and part of it was with Colin Kaepernick. So it's not like he had Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning that was, running the show at the quarterback position. A lot of it was him and the coaching and the team he built. And then, of course, he obviously went to Michigan. And I think where he butts his head up against the wall in Michigan is where college is different than the NFL. College, you can literally go 10-2 at Michigan, and it can be a bad year, right? If you lose to Michigan State and Ohio State, right? Even this year, where they beat Ohio State, huge year, the best year they've had in years, won the Big Ten championship. They got absolutely slobber knocked in the college football playoff because the SEC is just so much better than anything the Big Ten can come out with. I've got more. Yeah, it just means more, right? I got the Big Ten 1-5 in the last 5 years in the college football playoff. Harbaugh looks at that and he has to know that the playing field in college is it's weighted so heavy to the SEC. It's almost in his division. He's got to play Michigan State. He's got to play Ohio State. He's got to play Penn State. It's just brutal. And if he goes 9-3 or 10-2, it's a bad year. So I think he's tempted to go back to the NFL where he doesn't have to worry about recruiting as much and just focus on coaching, which I think he really likes coaching and being like a game planner, in-game guy. I think that's what he really likes to do. He's a quarterback, right? He's a gamer. That's kind of what he likes. But I just think he's tempted. And I think I'm curious because right now, one team that he's linked to potentially is the Las Vegas Raiders. What do you think of that potential fit for the Raiders, replacing John Gruden with Jim Harbaugh?
I think they're pretty similar as being like a player's coach. So I like that comparison. It could be what the Raiders need. I've also currently seen him linked to the Bears as well, potentially. So that's another interesting choice. But I do like the Raiders a little bit better fit for him. They have a solid quarterback, pretty good defense. I think he could work some magic there because they've also got great wide receivers. Hunter Renfrow and Bryan Edwards have really come into their own since the loss of Henry Ruggs, and
they got Waller at tight end.
And Waller at tight end, Josh Jacobs at running back. It's not a bad little team when everyone's hurt and you have the stability in the coaching position. So I think it's a nice, I think the Raiders are probably one of the best situations to fall into as far as a coaching job that could be up this coming season. Much better than going to the Jaguars or someone like that, where you're gonna have to, you literally have your work cut out for you. But if he wants a challenge, I guess, then go to Jacksonville, figure it out.
Yeah, well, I think he had a part of his rebuilding, right, with what he did at Stanford and Michigan. I don't think he wants to rebuild. I think that's one of the reasons why he's tempted to go back to the NFL, because he probably feels like he can't do any better at Michigan than he did this year. And I think going to the Raiders, I think that's an interesting challenge for him. Because they already have, like you said, they already have their quarterback and some good pieces on offense and a solid defense. And, they have a chance to even make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Despite everything that has happened, right? If they beat the Chargers this weekend, they're going to win. They're going to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I believe one of their cornerbacks also just got arrested for DUI again. So not another thing, but despite all odds, they're making it.
I think Harbaugh, if I'm Harbaugh, I'm going to be honest with you, I'd probably take the Raiders job. He's a Michigan man. That's where he went to college. I'm sure he's kind of torn there. But look, he's done everything he could at Michigan. He beat Ohio State, won their first Big Ten championship in forever. It ain't going to get any easier. It ain't going to get any better than it was this year. Go to Vegas, go to the Raiders, and see if you can turn that and give some stability to that franchise. I think that would be a good move for Harbaugh, to be honest with you. And I want to see him in the NFL.
My question for you, though. Is it better to be the best Harbaugh in college or the second best Harbaugh in the NFL?
Well, that's what I was saying. Can you imagine if he was in the AFC, all the more Harbaughs we would have?
I don't know.
Harbaugh Bowl?
There's only been one that I can remember, and it turned out pretty well. They played twice that season, actually.
Yeah.
Turned out pretty well for us, though. So
that's what I'm saying. Jim wants a few more cracks at John. I think that'd be a great story. I think it's the NFL's better with more Harbaughs. I think we can
imagine
all agree
if he coached like the Browns.
Oh, that would be hilarious. That would be awesome.
So
can you imagine Mike Tomlin and then two Harbaughs in the same division?
Are they from Ohio potentially?
I think they either. I want to say Michigan, right? Because that's where Harbaugh went to school. Was University of Michigan.
But where did John Harbaugh go?
But their dad was a coach. Like John and Jim's dad was also a coach. Like he won like a D1 AA national title. So I bet they probably moved around a lot, to be honest. I bet they're probably,
Toledo, Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I
think that's where John was born. I don't know where Jim was born, to be fair.
Yeah. And I think they moved around a bunch too. So, yeah, I guess though you bring up Toledo.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe that's an Ohio connection. Maybe there's a Browns thing. That would be wild.
So that would be pretty crazy. And I was thinking, I didn't know John Harbaugh went to Michigan or Miami, Ohio. So
yeah,
another Ohio tie there. But
so Miami, Ohio, just sidebar real quick, is like considered the cradle of coaching.
Really? Like the best coaches go to Miami, Ohio?
Yeah. It's just we're so legends, Paul Brown, Weeb Eubank, things like that. Obviously Harbaugh, like so many great coaches. You could literally go like every decade, like 3 or 4 coaches came from Miami of Ohio. It's very strange because they're a MAC team. There's nothing special about them. Like they're not even that great, to be honest with you, but they keep chugging out the top flight coaches for decades. It's been pretty
Bill
wild.
Belichick even visited Miami, Ohio one time. So
yeah,
got their fingers there as well.
Yeah. They've got like famous coaching clinics and stuff. Like they're legitimately like through history. They're like they call it like the cradle of head coaches or something like that. It doesn't make any sense, but Miami of Ohio is like the legacy. It's like the Notre Dame for coaches. It's like the U for coaches, if that makes sense.
Well, Jim Harbaugh coming back to NFL, very interesting. We will keep our eyes and ears peeled on that one. Keep you updated as more arises.